We are the Guinea Pig Collective. All will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
And we got Rorschach with us today from the Guinea Pig Collective as we're getting ready to review another set of toys. Today we got an interesting one by the way of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Cobra Kai. Are you ready for this one, Rorschach? It sure seems like you are. All right, let's get into it.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, heroes in a half shell.
So today we're going to be looking at Playmates Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Cobra Kai crossover Donatello versus Johnny Lawrence. Now these figures out of the box, they do not look half bad. You can see that they got a lot of details going on with this one. They even got a rubber top on him, which kind of bends a little bit when you actually turn the figure. It's not too shabby looking. There's a few issues that I actually have with the Johnny Lawrence figure, but I'll get into that in a moment. Now, as far as Donatello, he's got that soft cloth gi on with the turtle insignias, which I think is a cool touch, and of course the place to put the bow staff in the back. A few of the things I don't like is how his arms don't really move down very far. They seem to be sticking out towards the sides and they just don't really go all the way in. I think that's just a little bit off on the design work as far as that's concerned. And one of the things that bothered me about Johnny Lawrence is when he was packaged, this is what I seen. It looked like he's got a double jointed elbow. That really bugged me at first. That and the fact that his wrists look like they're sleeves. However, I did find out later on that his arm was twisted around in the package. And as far as regular articulation, he has the up and down in the shoulders and then the top of the arms that you would expect in the bicep. He's also got decent head movement going on. Of course, he's got a bit of a waist, but of course with that rubber top on, it kind of restricts it a little bit. Not too much, but a bit. Leg movement, he's got awesome articulation in the legs. And of course, he's got the thigh rotation and of course the knee joint as well. He also has a foot pivot at the bottom so you can get him in those more traditional martial arts poses. They don't stand great, but it's not bad. And with all the extra flexibility there, it does help a bit. Now, as far as Donatello, he does have some halfway decent head movement on him as well. He's got the shoulder movement. Now, these shoulder joints are extremely tight and they do not want to move very well. He also has a bicep rotation, a double jointed elbow, and he also has wrist turn, and he does have a thumb that turns around and moves, and fingers that bend in too to supposedly grab his bow staff. He also has decent leg articulation both ways and a double jointed knee as well as the thigh rotation. He also has a little bit of bend right there at the ankle, and of course the toes also move on him independently to help get him in some of those poses. Unfortunately, he just doesn't seem to hold that bow staff very well at all. That is one thing that is very disappointing about this one. We have from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Cobra Kai, Michelangelo.
I want a large, thick crust with double cheese, ham, pepperoni.
Versus Danny LaRusso.
Banzai! Daniel LaRusso here for LaRusso Auto.
Now, I really do enjoy this series of figures that they came out with. I did have a few issues with the last one, so if you missed that video, go back to one of our older collectible past and check that out. Eventually, we'll be going up on my channel as a video as well, but right now we are discussing this for collectible past. I do like this series with the one exception that I have with the Donatello one, hoping that maybe it just happened to be that particular box that I picked up. Hopefully not all the figures are like this, but we're gonna go ahead and get this one open and check it out and see what it's like. So as we have them out of the package, taking a look at them, both of them look amazing, just like the first set did. Once again though, I have a bit of a problem with Michelangelo where his arms don't come all the way in. One arm actually seems to stick out a little bit further than the other one. Now, Daniel LaRusso looks excellent. With the gi on, I think his arms look a lot better than the Johnny Lawrence one did. However, they did mess up here because they don't have this rubber top of his gi closed up enough around his arm, so it kind of looks like there's a big rip in his gi. I don't like that. They really screwed that one up. At the very least, they should have had a little bit of white paint application underneath, so you didn't see the flesh tone skin underneath. That's one thing I don't like. Everything else about the figure looks pretty amazing. So one thing I want to talk about before I put the weapons on Michelangelo and we see how well his hands actually hold the nunchucks as compared to Donatello. Playmates actually did a huge fuck up on this figure. Huge. The legs. One leg is incredibly longer than the other one. I don't even know how this gets past quality control. This is fucking ridiculous. This actually disappoints me greatly. While there was a few problems with the other one with the hands not holding the weapon, something like this is unforgivable. This is fucking stupid. So with the chucks in his hands, and I'm going to preface this just barely because once again, as far as the hands being able to move, fingers are extremely tight and barely want to move at all, and the thumbs are so loose that they can't actually hold onto the nunchuck, so they're just kind of sitting there barely hanging on. Once again, poorly done, terrible quality control on the part of Playmates. And it's a shame because the figure itself looks amazing, but it's little details like that that just make this set look like shit. Now because of this, having two sets of figures look this bad, I don't even know if I want to bother looking for the last two in this collection. It really is a shame that they didn't pay a little bit more attention to detail. Now I will say one thing I do like about the nunchucks for Michelangelo is the chain is actually a legitimate chain. I thought that was a cool touch, but unfortunately, since he could barely hold on to him, that little piece almost seems pointless. Because if the figure can't really hold on to the damn things, what good is making it look good with a chain? But if you put them in an action pose, they don't look half bad. Once again, because Michelangelo's leg is so much longer on one than the other, it makes it a little bit difficult to get him into a pose. Daniel LaRusso, I didn't have too much of a problem even getting him up on his toes. That one, they did really well. It's just a shame that their bread and butter Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one looks poor as far as quality control as compared to the Cobra Kai one with Daniel LaRusso. Overall though, I still think it's a decent set, but the quality control issues with this set is driving me absolutely insane. I don't know how they can fuck it up this bad. Anyway guys, what do you think about this one? Do you think I was a little bit harsh again? I think I was a lot harsher in this one than the last set because, well, other than Donatello not being able to hold his bow staff and Johnny Lawrence's forearms looking like sleeves, I didn't have that big of an issue with the first set. But this second set, Daniel LaRusso, they knocked out of the park, and Michelangelo, they failed. And they failed hard. And it really is a shame. I had such high hopes for this set.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.